Alright, let's dive into what's happening with the Minnesota Twins right now, because there's a lot to unpack, and trust me, it's way more fascinating than it might seem at first glance. Here's the deal, Joe Ryan, one of the Twins' top pitchers, is dealing with some glute and back issues. Sounds minor, right? But personally, I think this is a bigger deal than people are letting on. Ryan was an all-star in the first half, dominating with a 2.85 ERA. But since the break, he's been getting shelled. 6 home runs in one start, arm fatigue, and now his fastball velocity is down. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just about an injury, it's about a guy who was carrying this team suddenly looking mortal. What this really suggests is that the Twins' rotation might be in more trouble than we realized. Now, let's talk about the Twins' recent moves. They traded for Dean Kremer, Jeff Hoffman, and AJ Minter. On paper, these are solid additions, especially for a bullpen that needed experience. But here's what many people don't realize: these moves added about $8 million to their payroll. That might not sound like much, but the Twins have been cutting costs like crazy in recent years. Their payroll is nowhere near what it was in 2023, and ownership has been citing financial troubles as the reason. So, when they spend $8 million at the deadline, it feels like a big deal, especially when you consider they are still not close to their old spending levels. What makes this really interesting is that Tom Pohlad, the team's chairman, came out and said payroll will increase next year. In my opinion, this could be the start of a shift in strategy. Are the Twins finally ready to reinvest in their roster? But let's not forget about Yoendrys Gómez. This guy was a DFA pickup from the Rays, and now he's the Twins' closer. Think about that for a second. He's on his 5th team in 3 years, and he's found a home in Minnesota. His numbers aren't mind-blowing, but he's been reliable, 13 saves in 13 chances since joining the Twins. From my perspective, this is a classic example of a player finding the right fit. It's not always about the flashiest stats, sometimes it's about the right opportunity. What this really suggests is that the Twins might have stumbled into something special with Gómez. Now, let's zoom out for a second. The Twins are in a weird spot. They are not dominating, but they are not out of the playoff race either. The AL Central is a mess, and the wild card is still within reach. But here's the thing: they didn't trade Ryan Jeffers at the deadline, even though he's a free agent soon. Personally, I think that was a risky move. If they don't make the playoffs and Jeffers walks, they'll have nothing to show for it. This raises a deeper question: are the Twins playing it too safe? Or are they betting on a late-season surge? One thing that immediately stands out is their payroll situation. They've got $50 million tied up in a few players, and a big arbitration class coming up. If they are serious about increasing payroll, they'll need to make some tough decisions. In my opinion, this off-season could define their future. Will they go all in on competing, or will they stay cautious? A detail I find fascinating is how their financial struggles tie into all of this. The collapse of their broadcast contract, the debt, it's all connected. If they can't spend like they used to, how do they stay competitive? Here's my closing thought: the Twins are at a crossroads. They've got talent, but they've also got questions. Ryan's injury, their deadline moves, Gómez's emergence, it's all part of a bigger story. Are they building something, or just treading water? Personally, I think the next few months will tell us a lot. And if you're a Twins fan, you should be paying attention. Because this isn't just about this season, it's about what comes next.